Hi everyone, I'm Imani of Imani at Home. Today we are joined on my YouTube channel by my best friend Darrell. Say hello.
Hello.
A lot happened in 2024. I did a lot of great DIY projects. My dad died. Sal had some skin issues. Your dad died. No, that was 2023. Oh, damn.
It's a lot of dead dads.
A lot of dead dads. I shot a home tour with apartment therapy. I have no idea when that's coming out. After the end of a very long year of doing incredible work, I would like my best friend here to help me decide what is my best DIY project of 2024. So I have selected a few. We're going to go through them. You will share your opinions. I will share my opinion, and we will rank them. 5 paintbrushes is like, goddamn, Imani. Call Architectural Digest. You've knocked it out of the freaking park. 1 paintbrush is like, I'm not saying you have to say that every project was great, but if it was, and you would like to, continue the beauty that is this friendship, I would give everything 5 paintbrushes. Make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe here for more DIY content. Darrell is not always on the channel, but if you do ever want to see this fine, hunky specimen of a man back, go ahead and leave a comment below with the shoulder muscle, like the strong shoulder thing. Yeah, go put that in the comments. No, use this arm so they can really see it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Today is arm day and I haven't worked out, so I feel a little small. Yeah.
Let's get into it. For our first project, we are actually going to talk about my first project of the entire year, which was a garage makeover I did for my cousins at their suburban house where they live with their children. I am not being mean about them having children. I was over there for Christmas and my little cousin grabbed me by my face and she was like, Imani, I love you. Don't leave me. She was like, I love you. So I don't hate children. I simply hate the fact that I was made sick by a child. I took the garage from this very cluttered space. They had a lot of stuff. They had bikes everywhere. We did a lot of cleaning, organizing. We threw out a ton of stuff. We got these shelves from the Home Depot in order to really give them a place to stack, and then we used these containers from the Container Store, which were these beautiful white colored, and they were ribbed and everything, and we organized their entire garage.
Okay.
This was a project that we had to do over 2 days, so we didn't have a ton of time to do it, but they had a lot of big tools like their pool cleaner and the lawnmower, and so they had a lot of pool stuff, which was all down here. We organized all of that. And I think the other really great thing about the project that we did there is that we also took all of the bikes and we installed them in racks on the ceiling. Had to give this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paintbrushes. What would you rank this project, and what are your feedback for me? How did you think I could do this better?
You did a really good job. It's lovely. I would say one thing, white is a crazy color to use in a garage. Bold choice.
But I did think that the white would look really nice against the blue.
And the dirt, and the oil, and the fingerprints from the children.
I don't know, it's been a year and the garage still looks good. So do you give it 4.5 paintbrushes?
You get a 3. Now move on.
3 paintbrushes? Last Christmas, Darrell took me to Paris. Well, you didn't take me to Paris. I paid for my own plane ticket, but you did pay for the Airbnb. Took all of the photos that we took while we were in Paris, and I printed them out at CVS, and I popped them in these beautiful IKEA frames. Most people live near a Walgreens, a CVS, a FedEx, or something like that where you can print photos. It was inexpensive. Print 28 by 10 photos. It cost me $15, I think. The Ritva frames, I think they're $7.99 or under $10 or something.
We love some IKEA.
We love some IKEA. I used the laser level so that the frames themselves would be lined up equally and perfectly behind my couch.
This room was looking a little hoarders before you invested energy into making it a space. It was giving storage container that I live in.
Well, yeah, this was the last room that I DIY'd, but I had planned it that way.
When you added the photos, it was like me saying, oh, I also live here too. Based on that, I'll give it a 4. but I will knock it down a 0.2 of a paintbrush because you used a very crazy photo of me. You get a 3.8. It gets a 3.8. Let's move on.
No. Like, I do truly think that that photo really does capture your essence. I'm a little sick right now, and this morning this man walked into my room to bring me some refreshments, and I was like, "What are you eating?" He was like, "I'm eating a baguette and some brie."
The breakfast of champions.
And it literally, his face was literally covered in baguette dust. This is who you are.
It's a balanced breakfast.
Hold on, Daddy calling me. Hi, baby. Can't talk for long, but I just wanted to clarify something. Next project we're going to talk about is a project that I did at my friend's house. Basically, she wanted a place to put her TV, put all of her books, hang out some of her decor. We used the Bexel system from the IKEA. I think it turned out so well.
You did a couple of projects at her house.
I did projects in like both corners of the room. So yeah, like you could rank the entire living room space. You can rank those as one.
You transformed her space. It was looking a little lost. She had a bunch of great pieces in her home, but she didn't know how to incorporate them. I think our friend has a very specific and very clear design aesthetic. Mid-century modern and just like fun retro pieces, but didn't know how to make them all work together in like a cohesive composition, and you really did the thing. We're able to like really define like two separate spaces there and make it feel like it was supposed to work like that the whole time. I was actually gonna score you highly before you interrupted. 4.5 gold star.
I was gonna get a 5 and now I have a 4.5, or I was gonna get a...
You are always gonna get an A-. Now move on.
The next project that we are gonna talk about is one that is very heavy. At the time, Darrell was living with me, and there was a vermin problem in my apartment because I do live in an older apartment. And I know that this was a very hard time for you. Darrell witnessed 2 mice playing a mating game in my kitchen.
It was 4.
See, 4. So they were having an orgy.
And
we had discovered the mice, and we were sort of opening up the cabinets to try to figure out what was going on. You know what I was doing that day? I went to go pick up the photos from CVS for the gallery wall behind my couch. I was gone for like 40 minutes, and when I came back, Darrell had removed the floor of the cabinet. He had you pulled out the dishwasher.
Yeah.
You pulled out the stove. You pulled out all the insulation and stuff. So when I came back, I was like, oh, this is now. When I left, we could have taken a step back. By the time I came back, we had no choice but to do a gut right now.
They were living in the stove.
They were living in the stove. And I'm not mad at you for doing it. But I was just saying that, like, that is what I walked into. I left, and then he ripped it out.
One psychological blow after another. We had been, oh God, Jesus Christ.
We had to go through a whole situation with my landlord. We redesigned the kitchen with the help of the folks at IKEA. They didn't pay for it, but I do love them. Got new appliances. We did everything. And then I finished it off by both painting the outer cabinets, that beautiful color Royal Garnet by Valspar, and then also applying my wallpaper collection with Auto Studio inside of the cabinets, and then finishing it off with a beautiful sort of like an aged brass hardware. You know, I'm not saying that that kitchen is the best kitchen reno of 2024, but you could.
I think the final product is gorgeous. Let me start by giving you your roses. It is a very pretty kitchen. Mm-hmm. You really knocked it out the park. Will I ever recover from the trauma that was the kitchen and the kitchen renovation? Probably not.
At this exact moment, Darrell's kitchen does not have walls and has not had walls for several weeks now. You don't have electricity.
Any details like electricity or who doesn't have walls?
If you had to put a number on it, if you had to put like...
You're really fishing for it.
I'm not, no, because I For the continuity of the video, you have to give everything a rating. No, you know what? Actually, I really don't think the kitchen deserves a 5.
Really?
Because I don't think it was my best DIY of 2024.
Okay, what would you grade yourself?
I would give the kitchen a solid 4 because there are things about the kitchen that I would still change.
Tell the people what projects you're going to pursue in 2025.
I did not do a great job of cutting out the slab of the countertop around where it meets up with the window seal. And so there's like a very large gap there that I'm attempting to fill. It looks very janky. And I want to put like a proper backsplash up there. Don't look too close. Don't get too close. I think the kitchen is beautiful.
So, if we are grading ourselves, it sounds like we gave ourselves a 4.2.
I think a 4.2 is fair. The next project that we are going to grade ourselves on is our friend's apartment. This time we are talking about her entryway makeover. This is in no way me fishing for points. I did this makeover during the DC heat wave in which I nearly had to go to the hospital for heat exhaustion. Think about all of that in your grading. Painted the whole entire space white because I needed to like liven it up after that gray color that was in there.
Yeah.
And I did this like gorgeous striped wall that was like reminiscent of this wallpaper that I had found on, I think, Pinterest. And then I painted all of the trim in there, this like deep, rich blue that was the encore. I finished it off with a couple of styling elements like an Ivar cabinet that I stained from IKEA and this huge art piece that I had hand painted, which was a quote from Allen Iverson, that was embedded in this like red frame that was massive, also from IKEA.
Failed to mention was that you also painted the door leading to her bedroom from the entryway and the surrounding trim.
Yeah.
In that same dark blue, which really contrasted with the lighter stripes. You took what was a very boring entryway and you made it an occasion.
An occasion.
An occasion.
An occasion.
And really speaks very well to her personality. That is actually one of my favorite transformations you've done this year. Serious? Yeah, seriously.
I didn't know that. The dog want to be in the video, y'all. Come here, come here.
Take your child.
All right, come here.
Okay.
You gotta, if you want to be in the video, you gotta sit down.
I am loath to give it to you because it's going to give you such an inflated ego, but I'm going to give that a 5.
And I graciously accept that.
I'm sure you do.
I do. So the next DIY we're going to talk about is, it's actually right in front of us. It is my mirror makeover.
It gets a 1. It's a 1.
Okay.
It was a nice attempt.
Okay.
You bought all the tools that made the thing that was glorious, but it gets a 1. I can see it peeling from here. You could have taken a pencil and drawn a freaking arch, and yet you went for this wonky curve instead. It gets a 1. And you made me go to Home Depot so many times for wood. You couldn't figure out how to like measure. It gets a 1. Move on. I hate this mirror so much.
So,
oh, sorry.
if you would give me a second, I could explain the project to the people, and then we could talk about it.
0.8. It's not good. It's so bad.
Okay.
It's so blotchy. Oh, God.
So,
it's so
if
bad.
you would give me 2 seconds, I fell in love with this mirror from Anthropology.
That makes it worse.
And by the time I, had the funds to buy it, was sold out. I had decided to make it as sort of like a designer dupe type of situation. And I will say this was my first time attempting of something of this sort. And it did prove to be quite difficult.
It was horrible.
And there were definitely many mistakes that I had made throughout this process, namely that instead of using an iron to apply the wood veneer, I used a steamer.
I forgot about that, and then all your clothes had stain on them afterwards.
In retrospect, it's definitely a rather bad choice, but we do what we can with what we had at the time. Of all of the DIYs that I have done, this was probably probably my least successful. It is definitely something that I would like to redo.
It's a 1.
I will also give it a 1. The bathroom makeover that I did for, again, our friend was this pink Limewash bathroom makeover.
I initially said it looked like Tinkerbell's privates. I did. Is a lot of pink. And I know that she was shocked when she saw it and saw all the pink.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit concerned.
Yeah.
But if you look at the final product, you gotta trust the process.
Yeah.
It turned out really well. Some of the work I appreciate most is when you work for others, because it gives you constraints. You added like little whimsical details. You played well with like the existing black and white tile and added like black shelves that help contrast with the pink. Very cutesy, very demure. Are people still saying that?
Yeah. And so on a scale of 1, and I'm not fishing for votes here. I'm just
are.
no,
you
we
are,
don't.
you are.
I'm not fishing, but you do have to stay consistent.
I'm gonna give it like a solid 4.6, 4.7.
Thank you.
I think her apartment is some of the best work you've done all year. Not shade against your apartment. I think your apartment is very additive because it goes with like your maximalist sense.
Yeah. But I think you hate my style.
I don't hate your Afro Downton Abbey style. I just think like some things are a bit too grandma for me. Our friend has a more aesthetic that's more aligned with my taste, like
yes.
more
Yeah.
minimalist, more mid-century modern, a bit more masculine actually.
Yeah.
And it's so fun to see you add your sense of whimsy to that style, which can become stodgy.
Big stretch like a kitty cat.
The second to last project that we're going to discuss is another bathroom.
Whose bathroom?
Mine.
Oh God, yeah.
My bathroom, when I moved in, it was very blue.
It was 2 different kinds of
It
blue
was-
because they
yes.
couldn't match the tiles.
I got a lot of flack for wanting to remove the tiles in that bathroom. And I just want to clarify, I wanted to remove the tile that was existing and replace it with just a different blue tile, so that all of the blue tile would be the same and installed well. I was never in my life wanting to remove vintage, beautiful blue tile and then turn it into some like white blue box. I'm a home flipper type lady. I am not that girl. I am not that girl. I am a preserver. And I initially was going to use a different wallpaper pattern on the wall, but then when I got the wallpaper and then I put it up next to the tile, I didn't really like how it looked together. It just wasn't flowing. I had started working on my collaboration with Auto Studio to drop my own line of wallpaper collection, and we came up with the pattern that is in my bathroom called Drunken Chevron. The blue dot was posted in there and I named it the color rose after my grandma with it. And then when I went to go add the trim around the top of it, shout out Darrell here, because I don't think I would have been able to get that trim up had it not been for your help.
When I came in, the trim was kind of just laying flat against the wall.
And it was very ugly.
Honestly, your ladder wasn't tall enough. You just did your best.
I did
you
my best.
tried.
I tried. And then you came in and you really did like steer that project over the finish line, and I thank you for that. My bathroom is like my 3rd favorite project.
Really?
Yeah.
The bathroom is in a class of 1. I would never in a million years want any of the elements you put in that bathroom in my bathroom. Every single one of those pieces, I was like, this is insane. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But when you put it together, it is very beautiful. 5 stars.
Bullshit.
No, I'm gonna give you 5 stars.
Really?
Yeah, because it was objectively ugly. It was so ugly. And you took every single ugly thing about that bathroom and made it cohesive.
Yeah.
In a way that I did not think you could pull off. I thought you should just rip it out and start over. That's my approach to things that are ugly. they need to go.
Tis.
So I had the sledgehammer.
Yeah.
I was ready to go.
I would end the video on that,
No,
but we're not.
You
Because
can't.
there is one project I personally think is the best DIY I have ever done in my... Salazar, mommy is trying to have an impactful moment. In the 4 going on 5 years that I have been doing DIY projects, I do truly think that every project that I have done has built upon the last one in terms of giving me skills and confidence, an internal sense of belief that like I can learn how to do something even if I don't know how to do it. This entertainment system is by far the best thing I've ever done. I know you're gonna have your thoughts about it, and that's fine. I don't want you to edit anything that you're gonna say, but like I have to say this for me. On a scale of 1 to 5, this project for me is a 15 because I had to learn how to do so many things. Get that pen out your mouth that I didn't know how to do. I had never drilled pocket holes before, and this project took a long time. Like by the time it was all said and done, it probably took close to like 3.5, 4 months. I would not have been able to do this if it had not been for the design plans that I purchased from Pine and Poplar DIY. If it were not for the hours of text and FaceTimes and phone calls that I had with my friend Nikel over at Simply Handmade. This project is not perfect, especially around the doors. There are things about this that did not go well. One of these bookshelves actually fell on top of me, and I'm so mad I didn't get it on camera. I was supposed to be making a YouTube video about all of this, and then I lost the SD cards that have all of the footage on it. But this project to me really is like a culmination of everything that I have done, and I am so incredibly proud of this work. And when I went to go shoot my tour with apartment therapy, I had pushed that tour probably 3 or 4 times, and the reason I kept pushing it was because I wasn't finished with this, and I didn't want to shoot my apartment without this, because from the moment I walked in, and I think I actually wrote a blog post about like all of the projects that I wanted to complete in this house. And this was one of the first things that I said I wanted to do, but it was actually the last project that I actually completed. So this has been an idea in my head and in my heart for a very long time, and I'm just very, very proud of her. So that's how I feel about the project. I now give you the floor.
There's nothing I can say I haven't already said about this, and I've seen the journey. So I will leave us with this. I am so incredibly proud of you.
Thank you.
No, don't do that. It's weird.
Okay.
Just take the hug.
Well, guys, thank you so much to the homies who have subscribed to Imani at Home over this year. This was my first year really posting on YouTube. I know that I was not as consistent as I would have wanted to be, but you know, in the midst of doing all of this work, this also has like personally just been a really hard year for me. So happy for the community that I've started to build over here on YouTube. I appreciate that you guys have like loved the app. So we're gonna do more of this in 2025.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that bell icon to get notifications for new videos.
And on that note,